The fool is an enduring figure, one we recognize instinctively across cultures, ages, and experiences. He's a shapeshifter, a jester, the one who delights, frustrates, and reveals hidden truths. For as long as we've recorded history, the fool has captivated us, making us laugh, cringe, and think. He doesn't just entertain, he challenges the status quo, showing us our own absurdities in the mirror of his antics. He embodies a unique wisdom, one that often lies just beneath the surface of what looks like folly, reminding us of the beauty and freedom that come from stepping outside our usual selves. It's an archetype that calls to us, whispering that perhaps there's a part of ourselves we're ignoring, the part that doesn't need to be serious or perfect. Perhaps there is a part of us that yearns to break free from the cage of self-imposed restraint. Today, we often find ourselves detached from the fool within. Society encourages us to be polished, poised, and predictable, and so we mold ourselves into something sanitized, something safe. We hold tightly to the image of being responsible, rational adults, but in doing so we pay a steep price. We lose our ability to laugh at ourselves, to let go, to experience joy without strings attached. The result? A loss of spontaneity, an erosion of authenticity, and a creeping sense of boredom or even emptiness. We're moving through life like actors who have memorized our lines but have lost the thrill of the performance. As Shakespeare famously observed, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. We play our roles well, but we've forgotten how to improvise. The fool doesn't follow these rules, and that's exactly why he's so vital. He's the antidote to a world where everything has become too rigid, too orderly. He brings back the sparkle of unpredictability, the joy of the unexpected. He taps into a fundamental human need that we've almost forgotten, the need to play, to explore, to embrace life in all its chaotic beauty. Play isn't just for children. It's a basic human drive, one that reminds us we're alive. And in the fool's laughter, in his antics and unpredictability, there's a kind of freedom that's hard to find elsewhere. To laugh at ourselves, to throw caution to the wind, to embrace our quirks and flaws. That's the essence of the fool's wisdom. For Carl Jung, the fool wasn't just a comic relief character. He was essential to the soul's journey. Jung believed that the fool holds a sacred role in our psyche, a voice that says, "Don't take yourself so seriously." He saw the fool as a path to self-discovery, a way to reconnect with the parts of ourselves we've been hiding or denying. It's easy to ignore this voice, to dismiss it as unimportant. But Jung knew that this is the voice of wholeness, the part that helps us embrace who we really are. He famously stated, "The soul demands your madness, not your wisdom." Madness here doesn't mean recklessness. It means a release from the rigid structures that trap us. It means listening to the part of ourselves that is wild, free, and unafraid to break the mold. The fool teaches us a powerful lesson. There is beauty in imperfection. Think about someone who's always afraid of looking foolish, someone who carefully chooses their words, guards their actions, and holds back out of fear of judgment. In doing so, they miss out on a world of experiences, living with one foot always on the brake. They're like a painter who uses only a narrow palette, ignoring the vibrant colors that could make their work come alive. But the fool's impact goes even deeper. He reveals to us the parts of ourselves that society has taught us to hide, the anger, the envy, the insecurities. He allows us to look at these emotions without shame or judgment, showing us that they are natural, even necessary. Imagine a person who has repressed their anger for years, always striving to be good and calm. They've been told that anger is wrong, that it's something to be avoided. Over time, this anger builds, eventually spilling over in unexpected ways. Perhaps it surfaces as passive aggressiveness or as frustration that seeps into their relationships, creating tension and disconnection. The fool would tell this person to stop hiding their anger, to acknowledge it and understand it. The Fool reminds us that these ugly emotions are part of the full spectrum of human experience, and that by embracing them, we become whole. When we give space to the Fool within, something remarkable happens. We begin to laugh at our own absurdities, to see ourselves in a kinder light. We stop judging our mistakes so harshly, realizing that each misstep is just part of the dance. This shift brings a sense of freedom, a lightness that comes from no longer needing to be perfect. Imagine someone who has spent their entire life striving for perfection, afraid of failure, always on guard. When they finally allow themselves to play the Fool, they find a profound relief. They realize that they don't have to be flawless to be worthy, that they can stumble, fall, and still be loved. This realization is transformative. It opens up a world of possibilities, of risks worth taking, of experiences that enrich the soul. The Fool's presence in our lives not only enriches our sense of self, but also transforms how we relate to others. By embracing our own imperfections, we become more compassionate toward the imperfections of others. We no longer feel the need to judge or compete, because we're at peace with our own humanness. Relationships deepen as we let go of pretense, allowing genuine connection to flourish. In this way, the Fool doesn't just entertain or amuse, he heals. He brings us back to the simplicity of being ourselves, of accepting others as they are, of finding joy in the messiness of human relationships. To welcome the Fool into our lives, we can start by paying attention to the moments when we feel the impulse to play, to laugh, to let loose. Maybe it's the urge to dance when no one's watching, or the desire to say something silly just for the joy of it. These are moments when the Fool is calling to us, inviting us to step outside of our usual roles. Instead of suppressing these impulses, we can lean into them, allowing ourselves to experience life with a touch of madness. The Fool invites us to see the world with fresh eyes, to approach each day as an adventure rather than a checklist, to embrace the beauty of the unknown. In the end, the Fool reminds us that happiness is not found in rigidly following rules or striving for perfection. It's found in embracing life as it is, in all its chaos and unpredictability. The Fool asks us to take a chance, to risk looking foolish, to dive into life head first, without worrying about what others might think. Because, as Jung understood, true happiness is not about control or mastery. It's about surrendering to the flow of life, finding joy in both the light and the dark, and dancing to the rhythm of our own hearts.